All right. Well, thank you all for having us today. We're a small but mighty group. So thank you all who have already taken your vacations and so are who are here, and hello to everyone who's on the recording later. So we'll start off. We're going to talk about the canvas today, and I've got an opening, and then I'll turn it over here in just a minute. So thinking of project development, and we all probably use a little bit different terminology, but that's the term I'll use: program development or project development. The good thing is everything always moves in a straight line when we're doing these things. It's linear, right? There's linear from point A to point B, and there's no rabbit trails or there's no backpedaling or anything. If you found the way to make that happen, then please share that with the rest of us. And so the reality, it's more looks like something like me trying to get Zoom to behave. It looks a little bit like this. Does that better describe what our program development and project development looks like? And I got one that it wasn't as crazy as some of them, but there are ups and downs and fits and starts and backs and forths and things like that. So, we've kind of agreed together to come and work on projects. So the project in mind that you're going to be thinking about, later today and working through the canvas, and this totally experiment because I don't use the whiteboards, but you can grab a pencil, you can grab a one of those emotional icons, as I call them to my children, to be hip, and place yourself on the map somewhere. If we call this area right here, this is start. And then let's say that this is the start off direction. Okay. So we're going to kind of loop up, not be too intense at first. Place yourself where you think your project is, that you're conceptualizing, where you are so far with your project. And I'll do the same. Okay, so do you see what I mean? If you can grab an icon or a pencil and remember where you've placed yourself, and just put us a dot, put us a star, put us a smiley face, somewhere where you feel there's a triangle, where folks feel like they are with their project. As we're doing that, also people are coloring in their dots. All right. As we're doing that, just a couple of people, because we don't have much time here at the beginning. Somebody just come off the mute and say why you've put yourself where you are. Like, how would you describe yourself in a elevator pitch of where you are with your project? Why do you put yourself at this place on the roller coaster?
Well, I'll introduce myself. I'm new to the group. I'm Kevin Harris with Washington State University Extension. I just retired last week from the William D. Ruckelshaus Center, and I've been a public policy facilitator and mediator for a long time. And I'm excited to continue my work facilitating in local jurisdictions in my small town that I live in, 43,000 people north of Seattle, and the county that I'm in, which is second or third largest county in Washington State. And my project that I've started on is I'm doing a situation assessment, about 50 or 60 interviews of local leaders across public, private, nonprofit, civic, tribal sectors to question the way that community engagement takes place in my city and look for gaps. And of course, it's always very political, and lots of people have different ideas. So I put myself sort of in a starting on the low end of a very tall loop,
Okay.
this triangle here, because the situation assessments typically among the, as I'm sure most of you do as well, among the sort of formative part of the project.
Very good. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing. I'm interested also, these folks who are trekking up. I hate roller coasters, by the way. But the folks who are trekking up this the smiley face and then the stick figure and then the red triangle. It looks like you're battling some uphill battles. Anybody want to share there what your thinking is? I think somebody's going to join you too. Any brave soul want to share your uphill battle? Don't want to put pressure.
I can share. I just feel like I'm Lindsay. I'm McConnell Soon from University of Idaho Extension. Nice to see you all. Um, I'm kind of on the just the chugging, trying doing all the harder work. I think in preparation, and then yeah, then things are I think really gonna speed up. So
That's a pretty good analogy because sometimes things really slow down and it's rolling a boulder up a hill sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, at a certain point, things just open up. Things can go fast. They can throw you upside down and be a little bit maybe unexpected sometimes. But we're all on um, a journey, personally, career-wise, but with this project here, where, these projects are all at different places. And unfortunately, there is no magic bullet or magic process that will make things be super smooth. We could say, if you like this sort of thing, that there is a little bit of, if not enjoyment, there's a little bit of stimulation, at least from the intensity sometimes that comes from project development when you have a breakthrough and when some things really start to click and work. But we are going to work through a tool today, the Impact Collaborative Canvas, that will help hopefully to at least keep the wheels on the roller coaster and everybody safely seated. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague for the next part of the presentation.
Thank you, Clint, and thank you everyone for participating. Well, the Canvas is, I believe, one of the most nerve-wracking deliverables that the teams that we coach will need to produce, but it's also one of the most valuable one-page visual that we get to produce. And so I am going to walk us through as a refresher. And here, I would like to invite you to join me, or I will also share my screen as we go through, because towards the middle, I like to invite your input as I go. So I'll give us a quick refresher. Let me go to the Google Doc. This is very familiar, the Delaware Food Desert team as an example in the canvas. And so just imagine if we just look at this canvas again, close our eyes, like what colors do you see? What clusters do you see? Right? And so let's dissect that a little bit. I know as we look at the same material, sometimes it helps for us to see it from a fresh angle, fresh lens. And so think about 4 thematic clusters here. Um, the red, or sort of like orange, whatever color that appears on your screen, that one is the situation. What is the urgent issue or opportunity? Molly and I, we were just starting to talk about how the SNAP Ed program is being affected in all of our states. And so, well, this is urgent, and what opportunity do we see? So the red box here. Then the purple boxes, purple clusters, stakeholders, and outcomes. Who is involved? What changes are hoped for? The blue clusters, the secret sauce, what makes your project or solution unique. Then the green clusters, pilot testing, what you don't know yet. So what are you testing or wondering? And so I like to invite you to imagine the canvas as a movie trailer for your project. Fast, clear, compelling, right? And if your audience only saw one page, this one page, would they know what makes your project matter? And I want to just scroll down right here just to show you just a quick search result of the business canvas model. Business model, it's just all kinds, but what draws me in is actually this one that is presented in blocks. And so I want to thank Molly for choosing this design to really help the designer and also the viewer or reader stay more focused. I like to now look into a quick review of each of the 12 blocks in layman's terms. Okay, so the first one, let's see, what's the best way? If you want to open your own ISBE workbook, you're welcome to. It's on pages 5 through 9. And so, well, let's do a quick one. Number 1, challenge, issue, or opportunity. So literally the spark that your project addresses. Number 2, the key metrics, how you will measure success. For example, the key activities you plan to measure. And why statement. Number 3, your North Star, your big audacious goal, how we would use it, right? Following the workbook. Number 4, the unfair advantage, the things that can't be easily copied. Number 5, audience segments, your target audience. Number 6, potential partners. Who else is interested or is doing this? I think it also needs to be addressed in the time-bound, time factor, whether it is past, current, and future. Then number 7, my favorite, the wow, what gets people talking, right? The one insanely cool feature that everyone will rave about. I also remember it is like the headline news, the title that may only have up to 12 words. What would that sound like? Number 8, the UVP, unique value proposition, your one-liner. Number 9, channels, how you reach people. For example, how you will reach your audience. Number 10, unknowns or assumptions, where you need to test. For example, 2 to 3 things you wish you knew and 2 to 3 assumptions you're making. Number 11, budget considerations, the 4 T's, right? The time, talent, treasure, and ties. Number 12, community impact. What measurable difference do you want to make in short term, medium term, and long term? So I'm scrolling back here to take a quick look at our classic example in the workbook, the Delaware Food Desert Team. I want to give you like a minute to look through for a refresher. I'll give us that 1 minute. Let's move on. Now I'd like to invite you to join our discussion here. So I created this table for us to type in thoughts, or you can also just unmute and share your thoughts and wisdom verbally. So here is how we're going to do that. Please think about these prompts. The first prompt is, which Canvas block do you feel most confident about? I would like to invite you to add a plus sign after the cluster, the color cluster icon. So for example, number 10, this is where I've placed my plus sign because that one I view, oh, I think I did it wrong. It's actually most challenging, most confident. Okay. Let me put another example, and maybe it is the why statement. So this is CUSUN's plus. So I'd like to invite you to take the next 15 seconds or so to add your icon to put your vote here. Clint or Molly, would you please help me share the Google Doc link again? Thank you. Okay, the why statement's gaining traction. Yeah, it should be, right? Okay. If you're done with the first prompt, like your most confident block, please feel free to move on to your most challenging block by using that slash. I lost track with that 15 seconds, maybe multiple 15 seconds ago. So there is no rush here. So, okay. Thank you. Wow. Yes, budget consideration. All right. So as we do this, I'd like you to join me in these prompts here. In the second column, I ask 3 questions. So for the most challenging block, for the most challenging block, please think about these 3 questions. You don't have to answer all 3. Feel free to answer any of those or all of them. So A is, why was it tricky? B is, what has helped? C is, what do you wish could help? So we'll take maybe a few minutes for you to write down, and then I'll open up for discussion. go for another minute. I work really well in silence, and so uh, please, I hope you don't mind. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. All right. Well, Clint, let's team tack here. I'd like to see if you want to pick any uh, comments here that are typed to start that discussion, and then we'll invite anyone in our team to share it verbally if they wish.
So in just looking through these, maybe I'll lead by just telling you what I shared and maybe kind of prompt folks. And so the budgeting, I think, is challenging, is tricky, and budget considerations in a couple of different ways. One, the environment that we're in, although some things seem to be opening up. Most of the time, although we do general work, most of us are probably program people, partnership development ideas, and not necessarily Excel spreadsheet dollars and cents, although we all have to do that because that's just part of it. And so, to be able to build out somebody who has that expertise and always include them on the project would be ideal, but not always, it's not always realistic or possible. And so those were a couple, just kind of share some examples there. If anyone else finds one in particular that you find tricky or would like to share that you had typed in the document.
Yeah, thank you, Clint. Yes, anyone who would like to share out loud?
I can share about where I get stuck with the unfair advantage one. I find that I often have trouble distinguishing in my own mind between unfair advantage and the wow statement. And I think as we're doing this activity, I realized that I think it's because I'm often working on projects that are meant to be replicable and scalable, right? So trying to zone in and think about like what's not replicable about this, like what's my unfair advantage here? I get stuck in trying to think of that as a strength when my ultimate goal is that this is accessible to everybody, or I want it to be. So I get stuck there in, is this a strength or a weakness sort of a piece? And if I think of it as a strength, then I when I get to the wow statement, or if I've already identified that, then it feels a little bit redundant, and I have trouble distinguishing between the two. So I think I ultimately maybe just end up on, oh, these are kind of similar categories sometimes, and so maybe I don't have to have something so distinct between them, but it can catch me up a little bit in that.
Yes, thank you, Lindsay. Yes, the unfair advantage, I see them like my treasure piles. All this that will just bring something up to this, like to the top, to the tip. What is the sparkle that people see? And then what is the hook that they get to talk about that? Yeah. So you're not alone. We struggle too, but sometimes I like that you mentioned how is the matter of how we see the weakness and the strength. Sometimes there is this opportunity to turn that or to see it from another angle, or maybe another community partner comes in and see that weakness as a strength because they can step up to to complement the team. So thank you for sharing that. Well, I want to leave us enough time to work on our own solo creative projects. Checking back with Molly and Clint if there is anything else that we would like our team to share. I will stop share here.
So
Clint,
I'm,
anything? Oh.
I'm just going to say, I think this was a really valuable activity, and to see how how it's clustered. And then for those of you who were brave enough to share why you chose the different areas, it's always interesting to hear different perspectives on something. I know I had in my work for 8 years now, and it's like, oh, maybe there's another way to explain it or another way to see it, and it just shows the depth and breadth of this community. So thank you.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
I'm appreciative of the exercise as well. It made me think, when I'm looking at community engagement in a smaller city, we have about 40% of our city are seniors, and the rest are among the different age groups. So we've got younger, and I'm really fascinated by trying to engage the younger generation, and I'm finding out that they don't want to use social media to engage civically. They want to engage more one-on-one. But what the exercise meant to me was that perhaps rather than look for new ways or new tech to try and engage younger people, perhaps we have to go back to the value proposition. Maybe the value proposition isn't speaking to them.
Great insight. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah. Anyone would like to share before we move into our solo creative time? Well, we can always come back at the end. So let's see, 11:30. Oh, minus 11. Okay, 32 sick. Let's see. When do we come back? 50?
Yeah,
10 to?
I think at 10:02, and then we'll wrap up for the.
Okay. Sounds great. All right, my friends.